Hey, what's up? I'm going to show you something, although it's modified from the original person that showed it to me when I was a happy, well, happier, skinnier person back in photography school. Oh my God, I'm 43 years old now. When was I in photography school? 43 now. Dean Collins came by the school a couple times. I went to Southeast Center of Photographic Studies, which has been renamed now, but it's located in Daytona Beach, Florida. And my parents at the time thought, yeah, you just want to go to school in Daytona Beach, and that really wasn't the case. I was at University of Kentucky getting a degree in Russian before that, and I was taking college level courses. Um, and 2 years in high school. After high school, I'd actually commute 3 days a week to get my advanced degree in Russian. Anyway, Dean Collins, rest his soul. I miss you, Dean Collins. You were a real photographer. So homage to Dean Collins. He taught me this. He actually didn't give a lecture because he was far too much of a well-paid-for photographer, and he was busy making money, making ends meet. And anyway, he gave some tips, but I modified that trick, and I've been using it ever since. And that is a mirror. Now, obviously, I've got reflectors out the wazoo, and you may or may not also. But yeah, I really appreciated Dean Collins when he actually dropped by the school. He'd gather everybody together, they'd stop the classes, and we also had a at the I assume it's still there. I haven't been back to that school in, God, 18 years, I think. I mean, I paid a visit 15 years ago when I was on vacation. But we had an art gallery there, slash museum at DBCC, and it was the second largest photography school after Rochester, New York, and Brooks out in California. It actually laid right in the middle between the two. But anyway, use of mirrors. Yeah, I know sometimes I talk too much. I was reminiscing about old Dean Collins, who was a real photographer, and he really knew how to use his light mods. This is an awesome light mod. Let me show you. It's modified from Dean Collins. He used these on clamps, but I got the idea from him, but I've improved on it a little bit. And let me show you how. These are not glass mirrors. These are plexiglass mirrors. They won't break. Well, they'll crack like plastic, but I mean, these are really cheap. You can grab, this thing is like 8.5 by 11, and I've got like a half a dozen of these things. They're so useful. I don't like using clamps because they slide and they move, and I like perfect adjustability. When you're using a mirror, you really want to get the adjustment right. And I should have had this over here at the time. I'll use a flashlight. Here's a trick too. If you can use this as a reflector for the evening sun and the morning sun. So if your subject is facing the camera here, like I am right now, the sun's coming over their shoulder. You don't have enough illumination here on their face, but you either don't have a speed light or you only have one speed light. You're going to use that for something else. You'll actually use this to point at their face, which of course you don't need a flashlight then. But if you have a speed light pointed either at their face or you have the mirror behind, there's 1,000 different ways you can use a mirror. I actually use this for hair lighting. I'll stick it behind the subject. I'll place the speed light on a light stand about at my 2 o'clock relative to the camera, and I'll shine it off just outside of the picture. I'll crop the shot. You need to use the lens hood to make sure you don't get any flare, because that's an issue. You're not using a grid here, you're using a mirror. And what I'll do is I'll actually mount my high power Surefire flashlight on top of the speed light head, and I'll tape it or I'll velcro it temporarily, and I'll actually point it into the mirror. That way I can adjust the mirror perfectly to where the model's hair is for hair look. I'm all about saving time. I mean, you can sit there and actually guess at where the speed light is going to hit relative to the hair, but that's a stupid way to do it. I mean, if you don't have continuous illumination, this is why everybody needs a high power Surefire flashlight. If you want to use the some sort of cheap Chinese knockoff high power LED, fine, who gives a damn. I'll actually also make these as a confinement beam for my flashlight to make sure the light's going in the right place. It's just a little triangle made out of paper. You can make these on the fly. If you got a sheet of paper or something, you forgot it, you can find a piece of paper, you just fold a triangle so it gives you beam confinement. So what you could do is actually point this at your mirror behind the subject for hair lighting, so you know you've got the right angle for the flash to illuminate it for hair lighting. But what I've done, and to the back of this, there are a lot of things, and I'm going to show you something else here in another video, that are used in, I've got a lot of microphones, a lot of professional audio recording gear, used in the audio world, like microphone stands and some like boom poles, which are perfectly and 100% usable for photography. Not only that, they're actually built better and they're made cheaper. I've got an on-stage boom pole that extends at about 8 feet above my head that this lantern's hanging from. This is actually for attaching microphones, but I actually have a swivel head from a light stand attached to it, and I use it for illumination. And it's incredible. I mean, it's all steel. It's on 3 caster rollers. But anyway, getting back to this, what I've attached is a microphone clip to this. I've actually cut the top of it off, and then I've super glued this to the base of my mirror. And what I'm able to do, since this actually can swivel any way I want, and it has a 1/4 inch connector in the bottom, and it also has a hot shoe type connector that will attach to a cold shoe either on my tripod or on a light stand. I can actually swivel this however I want, and of course, you know, this 1/4 inch connector here, it'll fit on top of any tripod screw mount, the same as the tripod socket on your camera. So I can stick this on my tripod and adjust it however I want for hair light, for fill light. I mean, the type of uses and what you can actually use with this mirror are just about unlimited. The other thing that you can do to simulate evening light, depending on where your light's at, obviously you're going to figure out how to layer the light. And this is something else I learned from Dean Collins 20 years ago. Rest his soul, you are a true photographer, Dean Collins. Is that you can tape. This is a transparency that you can actually get printed down at Kinko's to simulate. Now you can make this blue for whatever sort of composition you want. I mean, just let your mind wander. You tape this to your mirror, and you'll use this for hair light or face illumination. You can bounce your flash off this for in front of the subject, or if you don't have a gel, which you should always have a pack of gels for your speed lights anyway. They're only like $10. But for evening hair illumination, let the orange light actually pepper through someone's hair, so it's off the angle of view of your lens. So you're doing, you're shining your speed light into this. It's actually going through the filter, coming off of the mirror, and you have that orange glow illuminating the back of your subject to give them that evening glow. And this works perfectly. And I got this idea from Dean Collins, but I did want to show you this, that you can build one of these suckers. Yeah, I know I talked a bit too much in this video, so forgive me. You can build one of these for like $7. You can get used microphone clips for like $2 all day long off of eBay, so $8 will let you build this, and you just get some industrial super glue and you attach this. I've also got Velcro here. I've got like a half a dozen of these, and they're incredibly useful. So anyway, that's the video. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. Bye.